If we reinstitute Glass-Steagall, the rest of the world will follow us. Believe me, the EU wants to do this. Japan wants to do this. Everyone wants to do this. They're just waiting for us to give them the initial impetus, the initial push to bring this back and to save the economy.
I would like to see how this gets organized at some point.
Pardon me?
So I would like to see how this gets organized at some point.
Sure, we have general assemblies every evening. Come and join us.
Why do you think it's
Hang out with us.
unfocused? Why do you
Come
think
down tomorrow then.
Why do you think it's unfocused?
Usually around
What?
between 6 and 7.
Why do you think it's unfocused? Why aren't they allowed the same kind of tent as the Republicans and Democrats?
No. I'm thinking that, for example, if there could be an arc where, for example, this movement would say focus on just disrupting the elections in California and Texas, take the two biggest prizes off the electoral table, people would listen. Because we're hoping people will listen, right? I mean, honestly, my family makes a good living, but year after year it slips and slips and slips. I mean, unfortunately, I have things that I have to do, so I can't be here. But I understand this fully, and that's a very interesting idea. It really is.
It's a very quick demand, very easy to do, and no 1,000 Dodd-Frank nonsense written by Wall Street lawyers. 1,000-page Dodd-Frank nonsense. We take the law from 1934 that we destroyed in 1998, and we re-implement the law verbatim. If any banks are in violation, they get broken up immediately. No excuses, no lawyers, no lawsuits, no lobbyists, no K Street. Done. Broken up. If you're in violation, you get broken up. And I don't want to hear it. And I don't care what happens to their stock prices. They're already down a crap anyway. Did you see Citigroup's reverse split?
No.
10 to 1. They did a reverse split of 10 to 1 to blow their price back up to $40 a share, so people don't think that they're down to $4 a share. I mean, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Okay? I had a front row seat for the creation of Citigroup. I was working for Salomon Brothers at the time in 1997, right?
Yeah.
Okay? I had a front row seat for the destruction of Glass-Steagall. And I said back then, it's not going to work. And now here we are in 2008, and we're in a situation that's worse than the Great Depression because we didn't have $14 trillion of debt back in 1934.
You know what though?
We can't even inflate our way out of this.
It isn't the debt. It's the way that government currently works. The fact is, while it's a phenomenal idea, until there are 2 million people on the National Mall, it will never pass the current Congress. It will never pass any Congress where there isn't 60 of one party.
I hear you, because who are they working for? Who do they take their orders from? Dodd-Frank was not written by Barney Frank and Chris Dodd. Dodd-Frank was written by those lawyers over there.
No.
Yes.
No. I don't think that's the reason why government is dysfunctional. I think the government is dysfunctional because the Republicans play to their base, the Democrats play to their base.
It's all the same, bro. They bribe both parties. They give $1 million to the Republicans and $900,000 to the Democrats, just in case. Okay? They write their own legislation. They write their own regulation. It's not right. The fox cannot guard the henhouse. The fox is the door of the henhouse.
And I don't disagree. I'm just telling you that anything that fits on a bumper sticker is too simple to actually make a big dent in the universe.
Does this fit in the bumper sticker?
Well.
No, that's a start if it was workable.
Yeah.
God bless.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
The big problem is whether the leaders to powerful. Remember those. Okay.
Right? There's a whole bunch of people behind me that if nothing happens, I'm going to be shunted aside. Okay? I'm going to be pushed aside. And they're going to take over. And let me tell you, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. People are up to debt. They're up to their eyeballs in debt from their student loans. They can't find a job. We have $14 trillion in debt right now. We have Wall Street that writes their own regulations. My goodness. What happened? What happened to our republic? You know? I mean, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Yeah, but we had money and rich people before. I don't get it. Maybe. And you know what blows me away is that these Wall Street guys, they do nothing. They run this weird casino, right? With all these smartest guys in the room from the Harvards and the Yales and the Stanfords. You know, where were all these people that we gave all these jobs to, all the professorships, all the different chairs of the various departments, all the different government jobs, the Harvards and the Yales and the Whartons and the Stanfords, where were they? How come none of them rang the bell on this crisis? How come none of them told us that we were going to have a problem? I can teach you about it right now. This is the separation of banking between commercial banks and investment banks. It was broken down in 1998 by Bill Clinton and a whole bunch of other guys. I'm not blaming Bill Clinton alone. Robert Rubin, Larry Summers, Sandy Weil, Jamie Dimon, Lloyd Blankfein, a whole bunch of other dudes, so that they could create Too Big to Fail. So this is the creation of Too Big to Fail. You want me to just take a step back? Okay.
So this guy is having an act
To separate commercial banking from investment banking. This saved the economy in 1991 during the S&L scandal. Do you remember that? Okay. Because the reason why was because those were savings and loans banks. Okay. So when that was separated, right, you had all those S&Ls blow up in Arizona, in Orange County, California, in the Southwest. But because Wall Street wasn't allowed to be involved with commercial banking, Wall Street actually was not affected badly by the 1991 recession. We took a punch in the head, right? Maybe you lost your job back then. My brother graduated from college in 1991. He had a hard time getting a job. But by about 1994, 95, we recovered. We re-regulated, we moved on, okay? Now, if this law was not in effect all the way back in 1991, we would have had 2008 in 1991. Because once they had access to your mortgage, they took that mortgage, Wall Street took the mortgage, okay? And they spun it 30, 40, 50 to 1 with these things called derivatives, which are simply bets on you being able to pay, not being able to pay, your interest, all this other stuff. It's basically bonds, okay? And they leveraged your mortgage and everyone's mortgage, everyone's student loans. They mortgaged every piece of debt in the country out the ass. Why? Because this law was gone. And they were allowed to go into the cookie jars of commercial banking. So if we bring this back, we have a good chance to recover from this. And if any of those banks are in violation, they need to be broken up immediately. Too bad. No lawyers, no asterisks, no fine print. Done. Cool. So if you want to know what we're looking for, here's a quick first step. A low-lying apple that we can pick. We can get this done real quick, folks. Everyone's asking, what does Occupy Wall Street want? Here's a quick thing. Glass-Steagall. Real quick. Bam. Separate commercial banking from investment banking. Now. Any bank in violation, they get broken up. Now. No asterisks, no fine print, no lobbyists, no K Street. Broken up. Right away. That's our first quick demand, our first quick answer. Glass-Steagall, baby. Any other questions? I'm here for you. I used to work on Wall Street. I used to work at Salomon Brothers. Back when it was Salomon Brothers, before it became Salomon Smith Barney, before it became Citigroup, blah, 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 merger after merger. I had a front row seat. I had a front row seat for the destruction of American banking and the creation of Too Big to Fail. I saw it with my own eyes. I knew it was going to be disastrous. And here we are in 2008, after 3 years beyond 2008, $800 billion in bailouts. Where are we now? We're not any better off. And guess what? Once the euro blows up from the Greek crisis, they're going to ask for another bailout. Another extortion. And how much are they going to ask for this time? $1 trillion? Are we going to give it to them?